Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined right now here on the Steve Malzberg Show by a very fine man, John McLaughlin, CEO and partner at McLaughin and Associates. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Steve. How's everything?
Good. Great to talk to you. It's been a while.
You're doing well, though. That's great.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. And, I saw the survey that your organization participated in and posted with regard to Hispanics and their views and concerns, and certainly that fits right into conversations we have so often on this show and elsewhere about what the Republican Party should do with regard to immigration reform. And I'm of the opinion, to me, when Pew did a survey of Hispanics coming out of the voting booth in 2012, immigration reform was at the bottom, was like 4 on the list. Above it, of course, employment and education and the concerns that all Americans have. I think that, John, and tell me before we get to your survey, which found very interesting things about immigration and Hispanic views of the Republican Party, but I'm of the opinion that the Republicans are in a lose-lose here. If they go along with immigration reform, alienate a lot of their base, no matter how far they go, they're not going to go 100%. There's, like even Rubio said, if the gay marriage thing is included in here, I'm out of here. So no matter how far they go, Democrats are always going to be able to say, we would have given you this, we would have given you that, but the evil Republicans said no. So to me, they'll be back where they started from, no matter how much they acquiesce. And number two, 40 million more immigrants in this country in the next 20 years, 99%, I believe, or 95%, or even 90 or 80% of which will vote Democrat on national elections and local elections, is suicidal as well. So I just don't understand when people like Lindsey Graham and John McCain say, we have to do this to save the party, or we'll never win another presidential election. I don't buy that. What's your take on that?
Well, as you noted, this survey was done under Opinions Latinas, which is an affiliated company of ours, and we've done Latino polling for Spanish-speaking polling for years, and we did a lot of it when President Bush was running the show, and I also polled for Governor Bush in Florida, and President Bush got 44% of the Hispanic vote. Now, in those 8 years, we've moved backwards because the political part of this is Democrats understand that as long as that they can keep moving the ball on us, it's a roadblock issue, because what they're afraid of is this Hispanic vote will gravitate to the Republicans, because on the issues, they're majority pro-life, they're pretty conservative on a lot of issues, whether it's taxes or social issues with families. They are available to us just like my ancestors who came over from Ireland or Germany, et cetera, and just like a lot of our friends, I live in New York, I grew up in New York, I was a kid in the Bronx. Our friends have grown up and they've moved up and they're moving into the Republican Party. So what the Democrats are afraid of is if they ever settle this issue, the Hispanic vote, like they were under President Bush, will start moving towards the Republicans because of their values. So that's what's going on. And in this survey, what was interesting about this poll of 800 Hispanics, of which 60% of the interviews were done in Spanish, 93% speak Spanish at the home, at least some Spanish. You had 59% were registered voters, 65% are citizens. The majority of these Hispanic voters certainly want immigration reform. That's no surprise. They also have a negative image of the Republican Party. That's no surprise. What is a surprise is they agree with us on the issues. The majority of Hispanic voters agree with us on border security, and 90% getting there. They agree with us on E-Verify for employment, that anybody who's here, they got to be here legally, and their employment has to be instantly verified, because it's not right now. And the third thing is they agree with us on no public assistance, welfare, food stamps, Medicaid, Obamacare, unless you're a citizen, which means that even if you're here legally with a green card, you can't qualify for this. The majority of Hispanic voters agree with us. It's on our website. It's on McLaughlin. You could go to McLaughlinonline.com, and you will see the numbers there. And the whole PowerPoint's up there with all the crosstabs, et cetera. And there's a memo there that explains it as well. So, and no one knew that, because the Democrats don't want to get that out there, that on these key issues about immigration reform, there's the majority of Hispanics and Hispanic voters agree with us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So why then, when it comes to E-Verify, when it comes to border security, when it comes to a very tough path for citizenship, all Republican issues and proposals, which is not included in the Senate bill, why then do people, do you think, like Lindsey Graham and the 13 or so or 14 Republicans who voted with the Democrats in the Senate, why do they do it?
Well, you explained it perfectly. They're trying to create a lose-lose position. They never wanted, if they were serious about bipartisanship, they could easily come down and meet with the House Majority Leader, the Speaker, and they could say, okay, Mr. Speaker, and Republicans in the Senate, we want to have a majority of both parties pass this bill. So what do we agree on? We agree on the DREAM Act. We agree on high-tech workers. We agree on farm workers. What do we agree on? And let's get a majority of both parties to vote for this, because that would be truly the American thing to do. Nope, they don't want to do that. What they want to do is they want to get a handful of token Republicans to go along with a bill that's flawed, and then to be able to say it's bipartisan, the Republicans are blocking. So they never have any intention of really passing a truly necessary immigration reform bill. So the good part about this is that, before everyone's talking about what Republican primary voters are doing and what Tea Party voters are doing. And by the way, what's interesting about this is on these positions, the majority of Hispanic voters, who are overwhelmingly Democrat, agree with Tea Party voters and Republican primary voters. But you're right, Senator Schumer in New York doesn't want to pass those things. And you're right, President Obama hasn't voiced his support for these things because he could have easily done it. But it's they're setting up a lose-lose thing because they're thinking of how do we take away the House in 2014? How do we keep our Senate majority? And how does the president, with a majority in the Senate and a majority of the House, transform this country into something we'll never recognize?
So it's all right. Believe me, I know it's already almost there. We're talking to John McLaughlin, CEO and partner at McLaughin Associates. Let me. We only have a minute and a half left. Let me throw you a curve here because I think you tweeted about it. Eliot Spitzer.
Right.
What's your take on that? Against we're going to have his opponent, who is running the former Madam Kristen Davis, coming up in just a few minutes. So, what's your take on that whole thing?
Well, just so you know, so I'm honest, I'm working for John Katzimatidis, who's a Republican, who's running to be the next
mayor, right?
And John's a very good guy, would be a great mayor. But I think the reality is both Anthony Weiner and Eliot Spitzer have a chance to win their primaries because of regional, tribal, New York ethnic politics. Until Weiner got in the primary, there was no Jewish candidate. And the Jewish vote is usually 25, 30%, over 30, or maybe a third. And so he's now moved into first or second place based on that support. And I respect that support because I saw what it was like when I was running Bob Turner's campaign, who ultimately won the seat when he stepped down.
So you think it's possible Weiner and Spitzer could win their primaries?
Yes.
All right.
Because they're very tough.
John,
I underestimate them.
Well, listen, we'll talk again, sir. Great talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Take care.